Hi, good morning. We're about to get service started, but beforehand, if you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the bell right now. If Facebook is more your speed, then like our page and follow us so you can get notified when we go live. While we're waiting, let me remind you about a couple of things. Are you tired of giving away your power? Had enough of saying yes when inside you feel like saying no? Then join the Power Matters workshop this Saturday online. In just 2 hours, you'll begin to reclaim your power with best-selling author and personal transformation coach, Christian de la Huerta, using his newest book, Awakening the Soul of Power. The way you embody, express, and relate to power impacts every area of your life. Early bird specials end today. So go head on over to our website right now to register and look for Power Matters. Attention all members, atención! Our annual membership meeting for 2020 will be held in person on November 12th at 7 p.m. right here at Temple Israel. You'll be receiving a letter with all the details in the mail. We plan to follow all safety guidelines for this meeting to ensure all attendees are safe. We will be broadcasting this meeting on Facebook. However, if you're a voting member, you must attend in person to place your vote for new board members. We're also asking you that you register online first so we can plan ahead with our safety measures. And in the past few weeks, you've heard Reverend Chris and Reverend Juan talking about how important November 19 is for our community. It's Give Miami Day, the day when all your donations get matched by the Miami Foundation. Please make a pledge today through our website or text Miami to 305-573-9191. Before we get service started, we've got a quick video about Give Miami Day.
We are nearing 100 years of being a spiritual community in Miami. Together, we've been through good years and through some tough years too. Years like we are going through right now. But through it all, we've held true to our faith and our commitment to being your spiritual home. It's so clear that you've done the same for us. Your faith-filled giving is an example of God in action, and it touches our heart. We're inspired by your stories of how unity has changed your life. Here are just some of those stories.
And I'm so happy to be talking about Unity on the Bay right now. My spiritual home, their family, their support, their community, their service. They are all about service, and they make me want to be of service. Even during COVID, even the last couple of months, they're constantly doing service. They were giving out Publix gift cards to families in need, some that I knew personally.
And as part of the Digging Deeper Racial Justice Initiative, I've had the opportunity to work with some of the most kind and dedicated people I've ever met. It's just all about giving. I feel good to be part of a place that cares not only about its members, but also about helping the community at large. So from the backpack drives to voting to Give Miami Day, there's never a time when we're not trying to make the world a better place.
Unity to me is a place I can say, it's like home. I can go to Unity any Sunday, and there's always a happy face, somebody greeting you. You can look around, you can see the kids running around because they're gonna go to their own little place where they're having so much fun.
At some point, I found, together we realized that we were having a lot of questions in our spiritual journey, and we were not being able to find those answers in just a meditation. And we started looking around in our community for a place or a center to join that will help us find answer to those questions. And that's when we came across with Unity.
So thank you, Unity on the Bay, for being my rock and my foundation. I'm grateful for each and every one of you who have made this such a special place.
It's just a place where you're gonna see smiles and smiles and smiles. And there's even times where we all gonna cry together.
Unity on the Bay. It's my church. It could be yours too. Good morning, Unity on the Bay.
Good morning, Bay.
Welcome to Unity on the Bay, a positive path for spiritual living. We encourage you to interact with us in the comment section, and we will do the same while our broadcast is live this morning. The comment section? Right there, right there. While we're gathering here, our youth of Unity is having their own time of inspiration and learning in our Kids Zone. You can learn more about that on our Family tab on our website, unityonthebay.org. We have some great music planned for you today, as well as an awesome message by Reverend Juan and a meditation, so stick around. We want to remind you that while we bring you this broadcast, we are doing everything in our power to do it safely. And now, here's Reverend Juan.
Thank you for that, Faye. It is really great to be with you. I don't know about you, but I've been waiting all week to be able to join with you, our spiritual community, and to remember the truth and the values that we hold so dear. I want to welcome you again, and I want to invite you, if this is your first or second time joining us, to text new to 305-573-9191. We'd love to get to know you a little bit better and just share with you all that Unity on the Bay is. Speaking of what Unity on the Bay is, we are guided, we are inspired, we are really pulled by a mission and vision. And I'm going to invite you to speak those with me right here, right now. So together, our mission and vision: we are an inclusive community serving as a catalyst for spiritual awakening, evolution, and action. And our vision: humanity inspired to our divinity. Knowing that this is at the core of what Unity on the Bay is, let us use this time to center ourselves in that energy, recognizing the very presence of God that is here, that is now, that has brought us to be in this place to connect, to share, and to recognize even more deeply the ways in which God's abundance, prosperity, peace, and yes, harmony are alive within us, within humanity. And so right here, we claim love. Right here, right now, we claim peace. Right here, right now, we claim wholeness and healing. Our choice is clear: to know, to see, and to be more expansive expressions of love. So it is. Amen.
Good morning, Unity on the Bay. It's great to be with you again. And I'm here with Myra Alvarez and Anthony Alvarez and George Tandy. We're very happy to be with you. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision, right here and now.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how.
decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down the road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
Wow, that was amazing. That was amazing. Clap, 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 clap. I have Reverend Juan here. That's all I have. I have Charles here. And I have Jason all the way in the back. No, you're enough, Reverend Juan, but you're usually a higher clapper. You're usually a louder clapper than today. So amazing, amazing. Dale, Myra, George, Anthony, you guys are just exceptional. Love is my decision. How perfect is that, and so needed during these times. It is now time for our daily word. And our daily word today is read by Inge Sengelman. Inge has been connected to Unity on the Bay for a very long time. Until she and her husband Andy moved to Colorado, they were longtime members and huge supporters of Unity on the Bay. Inge was part of the group that created our congregational care ministry, which provides one-on-one spiritual support to our community. And she continues to support as now she is facilitating our moving through grief sessions, allowing people to heal from some of the heaviness that has been experienced in 2020. Here's Inge.
Good morning, Unity on the Bay, and hello from Golden, Colorado. The reading for today is on healing. I embrace the healing flow of divine life. If my body experiences any kind of health challenge, I turn within to release all fear and all concern as I affirm that illness is not part of my true identity. I remember that wholeness is my birthright. As a spiritual being, I surrender any anxiety as I fill my consciousness with healing thoughts. My mind's eye sees each cell in my body radiating and aglow with the energy of divine life. In prayer, I express appreciation for all of my body's functions. I commit to nurture my body and to bless my body with rest, nutritious food, and exercise. I speak affirming words of truth that encourage my body's innate, intelligent healing response. I give thanks for the healing that I know is already on the way to me. I am grateful to receive healing and to know wholeness. And from John chapter 10, verse 10, Jesus said, I came that they may have life and have it abundantly.
Thank you, Inge. That was wonderful. At this time, as we prepare for a time of guided meditation led by Reverend Juan, I want to remind you that if you have any prayer intentions at all that you'd like to submit, there are none too big or too small. Send them over. You can write them now in the comment section right down below, or you can go to unityonthebay.org/prayer. Our prayer chaplains will be answering each and every prayer intention sent our way. So send those our way soon, okay? Because we love to hear from you. So now let us ease into a time of meditation with this song by Myra, Dale, and Anthony. And we're going to put the lyrics up on the screen so you can follow along.
Let's take this moment now. Let go all fears, all doubt, past and future we release. Breathe in, breathe out. There is peace. Gently brush the world away. In God's grace we bask and pray. Guilt and shame we now release. Breathe in, breathe out. There is peace. Here and now. There is peace. Here and now. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. There is peace. Here and now. There is peace. Here and now.
So I invite you now to gently take a deep breath. And if you haven't done so already, to close your eyes. Simply relax into this moment. Allowing yourself to lean into the very presence of God that is here and now. Take another deep breath. And as I speak the words that inspired this meditation, allow them to move you into the inner sanctuary of your being, becoming more aware of the peace and the wisdom that is within you. From 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 8, finally, all of you have unity of spirit, sympathy, love for one another, a tender heart, and a humble mind. So just sense as how your heart is tender. How your heart in this very moment is expanding and enveloping this very experience that you have created for yourself. Sense as your mind becomes more quiet and still. And recognize that in this very moment, the very activity of God is moving through and as you. All that God is is here and now within you. For you and this divine presence are one. God's love is your love. God's peace and harmony alive within you in this very moment, calling out to be further expressed in your life. Within you is the will to heal. To heal that which must be healed within you. To heal that which here and now you may be experiencing, humanity may be experiencing here and now. The will to heal is present. Take another deep breath. Releasing any thoughts that are in any way limiting you or keeping you from fully knowing the love, the harmony, the peace that is God. Releasing any pattern, forgiving any experience that may keep you here and now from fully knowing the comfort, the guidance, and the inspiration that is the God within. Feel lighter. It is the shift and the energy of your healing nature rising up. Let us rest here and now in this healing energy. Tender in heart, humble in mind. In this moment, you are seen. You are known and experienced as that healing energy of God, the light, the love. It flows through and as you, and it radiates from your being. The path is of love. The path is of harmony. You are the full expression of the guidance and the inspiration, that which pulls all of us forward to recognizing our oneness, to recognizing our unity. And so feel that within you. Feel the impulse to be in gratitude, that you know here and now that you are the healing presence of God. The impulse to know more deeply, the gratitude within you for simply resting in the awareness that you are a blessing. Here and now, we deepen our understanding to share our love, to awaken our compassion, and to have empathy with life as we engage more fully with all that is. We give thanks. Yes, we are a blessing, and we are so very blessed. So it is, as we let it be. Amen and amen. Thank you. That was really beautiful, and I was just kind of swaying my hands and my arms to the side over here, and just remembering that there is quite a bit for me to be reminded of, actually, I should say. So thank you for that. So the Sunday after the elections, I kept thinking, how am I going to begin this talk? How am I going to begin this service? And I asked Ashley, our new director of business operations, that same thing. Right? Like, how should I start it? And she said, I have something great for you. It's like, oh, wow, okay, sure. She said, God is great, God is good. Let us thank you for our food. Amen. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but at least it broke the ice. The beginning of the service has started. And really, I just kind of needed to kind of break some of that energy up, because even though it has been already a couple of days, I'm still feeling the energy of the election, and I'm still recognizing the things that are for me to recognize during this time. You see, I know that for quite a few people, the election day was this great big goal, and I'm sure to an extent it was for me. And I know that many of us, if we admit it, we thought that maybe this election would be a huge piece of the answer to that which we have been wrestling with. And I've come to realize that actually it might be a part of it, but the reality is that there is something much bigger than an election going on. There is something much bigger than my role even within it, because elections matter. They are important, but they aren't the real answer. The answer to the questions that we have been wrestling with is for us to accept and own that we are the seat of power, that we are the ones that actually create the shifts, that we are the ones that are able to look at our experiences and do some good with them. And so I'm getting to the place of really owning that for me. And I think about, the political fight that we have been in for quite a while, and will probably continue to be at some level for quite a while longer. And I recognize that most fights that I have ever heard of or been part of, sure, there might be a winner, but everyone leaves bruised. Everyone leaves with some level of healing that needs to take place. And so, listen, I get it. So many of you may be overwhelmed in this moment, and that is okay. Be gentle with yourself, but just don't let yourself forget that really there's more work to be done. And that work really begins here and now as we say yes to that which is before us. Now, in the midst of all that is happening on around us, we have to remember, I think for me, what that song reminds me of. When I forget, I need those reminders that we are all interconnected, that we are all one human family, that we are all a part of the oneness that is God. And more than ever, I feel that I need that reminder. You see, I have had some experiences that in other ways could have kept me from fully knowing that. Or I could have used as a barrier to be able to see that you and I are connected, as are the people that may not think the same as I do, or the individuals that may show up in a different way. Actually, my opportunity is here and now to see beyond those appearances and try to really get to the heart of the truth of who we are, one and in harmony, in the process of healing. And so some of you may already know what I'm about to share with you because I put it on Facebook, but last week on Saturday, I had prayed, I had voted, and I was doing what I was being called to do, which is to go knock on doors and canvass. And I went out and I went to this one house where the voter that I was supposed to speak to was at, or was supposed to be at, and I knocked on the door. And somebody else opened the door, and I just asked for him, and she responded that he wasn't there, and I had already put, because it was all very safe, so I had already put this little door hanger on their doorknob and walked a couple of steps back so that it would be very safe. And I just said, great, well, for them or for you, if you're interested, this is some information just on equality and some of what we hope that you consider. And as soon as she picked it up, I was walking away, and all of a sudden, I hear her start to scream at me, and she just crumbled it up. I turned back, and she threw it right in my face. And she started to tell me to take that trash away from there, to never come back. She threw the door on me, and I could still hear her screaming obscenities at me. And I have to tell you that in that moment, I did not feel as one. I did not feel connected. I felt pretty darn low, actually, in that moment, and pretty upset. I was in disbelief, and as I was walking back to my car, some of the disbelief started to dissipate, and all of a sudden, I found myself getting really upset and angry. I was really hurt. And as I was about to drive away, something else, though, some reminder by the grace of God told me to stop. And I looked straight at that door, and I started to do a process that we have shared with you before, the process of Ho'oponopono. And that is that as I was looking at that door and remembering what had just occurred, I started to say, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. At first, not much happened. So I realized that I needed to say it again. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. And again. And it was, I'm sorry. I am sorry for not fully understanding whatever it is that you are moving through that caused you to respond and react in that way. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for not being able to see here and now that both of us are one. That we are both children of God, expressions of good, really, deep within us. I love you. From the place of my own Christ nature, I can love that which is within you, that divinity, that Christ nature, that is your truth, whether you or I are able to see it. And thank you for this opportunity that has really made me realize that I need to do some healing work. As much as I thought I was moving through it quite beautifully, there is still more healing to do. It just reminds me, a lot of times in our meditations, we would say here at Unity on the Bay, reveal what must be revealed, heal what must be healed. Well, guess what? Things are being revealed. So it's our opportunity to say what we're going to do with it. And I'm choosing, and I believe that really at the core of who you are, you know that you also want to heal that which has been revealed. And it was so uncomfortable in those moments as I was doing Ho'oponopono in front of that door. And I remember Neil Donald Walsh, one of my favorite things that he ever said, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. I know that we have let's just say I think 2020 has really been about us getting more comfortable with our discomfort, right? And maybe this week showed it up for some of us quite more intensely. One of the things that Brené Brown wrote in a book a couple of years ago, Braving the Wilderness, said, "The world feels high, lonesome, and heartbroken to me right now. We've sorted ourselves into factions. We've turned away from one another and toward blame and rage. We are lonely and untethered." Maybe you don't feel that way, but it's in the field. I can tell you that it is currently in the field, that I have experienced and sensed it myself, and you probably have too. And so the question is, how do we get back to recognizing in this very moment, taking this opportunity? Some of us may see it as the momentum that we can continue to build up from. Some of us may just see it as an opportunity for us to move into something greater. But how are we taking this opportunity to really center ourselves in our interconnectedness and in the idea, the belief, the understanding that we are one? And so, last week also, the day right after I went canvassing, I was speaking at Unity of Vero Beach. They asked me to go and speak there. And quite interesting, they actually provided the theme for me to speak on. Instead of me giving it to them, they're going by a calendar that they had of prearranged themes. And the theme was interconnection. Like rivers flowing from one source, we are all connected. How's that for a reminder? I needed to hear that. I needed to speak about that because I needed to get really clear about what the opportunity was for in this moment. It was so perfect. And I love that analogy because yes, we are connected, and yes, it feels like the rivers. Because for me, I can see that some rivers feel very peaceful and very calm, and then some rivers roar. Some rivers can be scary. Some rivers can feel like there's just a lot of chaos. And regardless of which of those rivers I may be experiencing, my source is God. We flow from the same energy, from the same spirit, and it is for us to recognize more fully that truth and be able to express it and live in integrity with it. It is radical, I believe, in the midst of as much division as we are seeing in the world around us, to also be able to see unity. It is radical not only to see unity, but to recognize that it is our responsibility to grow it, to deepen it, to expand it. We have to own this responsibility. Yes, it's hard. I get it. Some of you are tired of it, and there's work still to be done. Tara Brach, the author of Radical Acceptance and Radical Compassion, says, inclusive, loving community is an intrinsic part of the spiritual path, the vision, the aspiration, and the movement towards it. And when I believe or I hear loving community, yes, I can think about the loving community of Unity on the Bay, and yes, I can step more into that and just really be held by it and comforted by it. And my job for me right now is to be able to expand that loving community, to be able to see our nation, our humanity as one loving community. One of the things that she goes on to say in her book is that one way I understand beloved community is as our evolutionary potential. If we look at brain development over the eons, we see that the most recent emerged part of our brain, the frontal cortex, has the deep capacity for empathy, compassion, and what we might describe as an inclusive heart. That's our potential. That is our potential. It's not just our potential. As I hear that, I recognize that it is the way of our evolution. It is the track that we are on. It is the evolutionary journey that we are on. This is the newest part that we are stepping into. And so, yeah, there may be times when we falter. There may be times when we aren't fully in integrity with all the potential that is in there. And the potential is there. And our walk is towards a greater understanding of that and a greater expression of that. It isn't for the faint of heart. I've told you before, spirituality isn't for the faint of heart. Gone are the days when all we said was, let's just pray. Maybe that spirituality was easier, because now I understand spirituality as saying, yes, prayer is so important. And what we learn, what we do with what we receive in prayer is what really allows us to live in the experiences that we are meant to live in: harmony, beauty, joy, peace, togetherness. And it reminds me that as I allow myself to move more deeply into that it really does create a different kind of field. And it lifts all of us up, as I have experienced when other people with that peaceful, loving nature come into my presence and are able to just cool me down, right? Like, we have had that experience. It reminds me in Africa, specifically in South Africa, there was this tradition called Ubuntu. It's like a philosophy. And Ubuntu means, or it translates to, I am because you are. I am because you are. And when apartheid was done away with in South Africa, the leaders realized that there was such a need for healing that they took up this old tradition and created almost a philosophy of healing from apartheid in those moments. And so Ubuntu became the call. It became the guiding energy for what they did. I am because you are. You are because I am. We are one. And this Christ essence and this knowing is pushing through the division. Our opportunity is to ride its wave, to allow it to flourish within us. When you find yourself in a situation where so many things you don't know, and we may be experiencing that even right now. There are so many factors that we aren't sure about. This year has been a surprise, one after the other, hasn't it? In moments when we just aren't sure about what is going on, it's good to anchor ourselves in the things that we do know. And I know that God is here. I know that God is the power within us to heal whatever it is that we may be moving through. God is the wisdom to see through the eyes of God what is ours to do. And I have to tell you, I believe that God is not done with us yet, that there are still things that God is asking for us to express itself as us through. Now, Wednesday morning, I received an email from this church consultant, and let me tell you, after Tuesday evening election, it was like this consultant was preaching to me at a church with like 40 people in the choir singing hallelujah, you better get this one. And it really touched me because I believe that these are three things, he shared three things that we can really do to continue this healing that is needed in this moment, the harmony that is asking to be accepted into who we are as that loving, beloved community. Now, I did adapt them a little bit, but basically the first one is that we must own our role in the hurt and we must seek forgiveness. We all say, or I say, I'm so tired of the negativity. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of that. Well, I have to be honest with myself. How much of all that is happening around me have I taken responsibility for? Said, what is my personal role in this that has taken place? I know that when I see a problem, it is so much easier to blame than to assume responsibility, but that's some of what I think we need to heal from, to no longer blame, but to really accept our role in making it so. And really not to get down on ourselves or feel guilty, but actually because that's the process. That's part of the process of them being able to know what it is that we must forgive. And I don't mean just forgive somebody else, but forgive ourselves for the ways in which we may not have shown up in harmony and peace, in love. It's the way to confess, to be able to move from being authentic with this moment to forgiving this experience to evolving beyond it. It isn't easy, but it's worth it. The second thing, and this is what he said, that a divided nation needs unity. And I take that to mean in both ways. It needs unity. It needs this community that you are a part of. It needs us to go deeper into the core values of who we are. Isn't that, at least I look out into the world, and I think that's what I want. I want to see more gratitude. I want to see more generosity, more love, being more spirit-led. And it's my opportunity to embody it in greater ways, to be more in integrity with it. The world does need unity, and I and you, we are unity. We also need this unity of bringing us together. One of my favorite sayings from Jesus, it's in Matthew, and it's where he says, "For where 2 or 3 or more are gathered in my name, I am there among them." To me, that's always meant that God is in our relationships. So I need to recognize how I'm showing up in those relationships. It doesn't mean that we have to agree. It doesn't mean that we don't do the work that is ours to do while somebody else does the work that is for them to do. It is just about recognizing that we can express more of our personal values and we can realize that we are one. We don't have to necessarily be a friend, but we can be human to each other. And the third thing is that we can be the alternative. And I think that's a little bit of both the first two, right? He says, it is pretty clear that the culture is tired of itself too, but it doesn't quite know how to escape. A generation tired of hate yet caught up in its grip will only be released from it when there's a clear alternative. We are that alternative. Being able to, by the grace of God, do Ho'oponopono in that moment when I was canvassing is the alternative. You being able to see this as an opportunity for greater healing is the alternative. Us being able to look beyond the fight and let go of the system that pits us against each other and to truly do what is ours to do, but to do it from a sense of oneness, of love, of peace, of harmony. In that moment when I did Ho'oponopono, what I recognized was that there was some level of hurt, and I don't know if I'll ever know what that level of hurt was in that other individual, but there was that. And although I felt her hurt in that moment, what I felt more of was hope. I felt hope. Not hope in a candidate, not hope in a political party, hope in the Christ that is within me, hope that in the Christ that is within you, the Christ presence that is here, and in this very moment we can allow to be more fully realized in our lives. Ubuntu, I am because you are. We've all felt it, experienced and shared it. We know that the Christ nature is there, and we know what it is and what it takes for us to be able to more fully express it. Ubuntu, I am because you are. Easy to say it here. Think about saying it into the heart of each and every person that you run into, each and every person that you see on TV. Ubuntu, I am because you are. It reminds me of that Rumi quote. My religion is love. Every heart is my temple. Ubuntu, I am because you are into every temple, every individual. And let me tell you, yes, healing is needed. I believe it. Healing is needed. But guess what? Lucky for us, we are healers. Let us go forth, heal that which must be healed, and then reveal a greater experience of harmony, of oneness, and of unity in the world. Be blessed.
What a great message, Reverend Juan. You're incredible. You're incredible. Woohoo! Woo, 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 woo. All right, okay, so first and foremost, I need the address of that person that you went to that threw something back at you. Okay. No. Unity principles. My apologies. That was just my first thought, right? You too? Okay, I see you. All right. So what did I learn today from Reverend Juan's message? So much. At every fight, everyone leaves bruised. Wow, that's deep, right? I mean, every single fight that we're in, it's the truth. Okay. Wow. Okay. The Ho'oponopono. I used to think that was Yoko Ono. Now I understand. Okay, so that's, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. Oh, God, I need to say that more often instead of the serenity prayer sometimes. That just fits so perfect. We are learning how to get comfortable with our discomfort. We've been so uncomfortable for almost a year now, or we're almost comfortable in that. Isn't that crazy? We are all connected, even when we're all so divided. It's incredible. See unity, grow it, expand it. I'm tired, but Reverend Juan is right. We've got to suit up and show up, right? Keep swimming, like Dory says, right? And Finding Nemo. I learned so much. We're so blessed. We're so blessed to belong to the spiritual community, to be spiritually fed every Sunday by the messages. We especially appreciate you during these times, during these very challenging times. Our Sunday celebrations are the primary ways in which we're financially supported. We are continuing to be mindful and serve as good stewards of all we have and all we receive, while we provide the necessary programming to support you, our spiritual community. Your giving is made simple through text giving, or you can go to our website, unityonthebay.org. If you want to give via text, text UOTB to 73256, UOTB to 73256. You set that up once, you make your life a lot easier. It's easy peasy. We'll put all that information up on the screen for you. So let's get our phones or whatever and hold it to the heart, to your heart space, and we're going to bless this together. We bless these gifts together. Divine love, that I am, blesses all that I give and all that I receive. It's time to bring the kids up. Bring the kids on up. You're four-legged kids too. Hello, hello, kids. We love you. We miss you. We will all be together soon. So let's get our hands together to bless these incredible children. Dale, you got my back, right? Sure, Faye. Okay, here we go. Children, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. We behold the Christ in you, and we see you doing great things. If you're watching us for the first or second time, we'd love to get to know you better, so help us. Text NEW to 305-573-9191. That's NEW to 305-573-9191. If you'd like for us to pray with you, we're going to put the link in the comment section with more info on how you can submit your prayer intention. Now Dale will lead us in the prayer for protection.
Thank you, Faye. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you so much for being with us today. Have an amazing week. Now please join us as we sing together the peace song.